Good morning. Welcome to Ramblings with Joe. The violence we're witnessing. So locally here, we had a shooting in the mall in Augusta. I talked to someone who knew one of the parties involved parents. He said that the teenagers were 14, 15 years old that were involved with the shooting. How are these kids getting away with this? I mean, I don't understand the whole situation. When I was a child, we had one rule. We had to be back during the summer. We had to be home by sundown. When the street lights came on, we were expected to be home, and that was dinner time. Now, we had 6 kids. It was a different time, I get it. But why? Why was it a different time? Why is there so much violence now? I know that we had violence in the 60s and 70s, but now it is, well, it's number one, it's political. It seems like the conservatives are being targeted at this point. But why is there so much violence? Is it because there are so many guns in the world? I don't really buy that. There were guns when I was a child too. The first time I went to shoot a .22 rifle with my father, I think I was 9 or 10. I was well supervised. I was taught the responsibility of how to shoot. I was taught the responsibility of the tool involved. That wasn't the only tool I was taught to use. I was taught to swing a hammer. I was taught to work on a car. I was taught about the dangers of all of these tools. Now, the anti-gun movement will point out that the guns are designed to kill. And yes, indeed, that's what their primary purpose is. On the surface. If you scratch a little bit deeper, in this country anyway, the guns are to prevent tyranny, to help prevent tyranny, both domestic and foreign. And the idea that we're going to do away with all guns for safety's sake, this is helicopter governing, also known as tyranny. I believe both parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, I'm fond of calling them the Republicrats, they both want this. They're scared. They're afraid of what's about to happen, what may happen. I don't know if it's about to happen. I'm praying hard every day that it doesn't. The wife was saying yesterday that she feels like something big is about to happen. The reaction to the Charlie Kirk killing, and now the Mormon church, I believe it was in Michigan, school shootings, that plays into it. ICE being attacked, law enforcement being attacked is very reminiscent to me of the soldiers being attacked coming back from Vietnam. This is such a deep subject. There's so much thinking involved with every aspect of it. The ICE agents, they took an oath, and they're following their oath. They're doing what they are told, and they're doing what is legal to do. You can change the law by changing your representative, or lobbying your representative to change the law. Shooting the people who are carrying out the law, when did that become acceptable? I thought that we took a step back from the situation with the Vietnam soldiers, and we said, let's not do that anymore. Let's change the government. And I'm not saying that the soldiers are not responsible for their actions. I believe they are. And if they are breaking military law, then they should be held accountable. And I do not believe that I believe it's called the Gutenberg, maybe Nuremberg. Anyway, the defense that the Nazis tried to use during their trials, I was just following orders, and it was found that that's not acceptable. I believe many of those were hanged for just following orders. And I'm not saying, but there is such thing as a legal order. And during my training in the military, we were taught to disobey those illegal orders. That was, as I recall, it was like a day-long training session that they emphasized that you, and it was explained to us. I was a sailor, and I'm sure that it was explained to the soldiers back in the day. I don't know what they explain now, that there could be repercussions. You may have to fight a long, drawn-out battle. You may be thrown out of the military if you disobey an illegal order, but you are duty-bound by your constitutional oath to do so. And the police, they have that same oath. They take an oath to the Constitution of the United States, and that oath binds them to their actions that are constitutional. It doesn't mean that you can disobey an order when someone tells you, in the military, when someone tells you to go clean a bathroom. That's not an illegal order. They tell you to break a constitutional law, a constitutional military law, and they want you to break that, then you're duty-bound to not do that. I feel like these things are more conservative in nature than liberal. Following orders, blindly following orders, can lead to totalitarian governments. This is a deep subject. I probably shouldn't have tackled this one on a Monday, but the violence we're witnessing now, the left and the right were supposed to keep each other in check, and their roles appear to be reversing. The right seems to be more anti-war than the left. The left seems to be willing to use violence as a means to the end being their political desires, their political theology is really how I look at what they're doing at this point. Because the ability to follow blindly, that's faith. Don't follow your party, whether you're Republican or Democrat. If you're a Republican, take a couple steps back and look at what's going on in the world. This is going to end ugly if we don't change. We don't change our attitudes toward each other. We have to. Revolutions in America are supposed to be done at the ballot box. Revolutions in America are supposed to be carried out at the ballot box. Period. A warrior prepares for battle and does everything he can to avoid it. Right now, I think there's a contingency of people in the world, there's a contingency of people in the United States that want that war. And I'm afraid it's the side that doesn't have any arms. If you keep pushing, and that pendulum keeps swinging, eventually it's going to come back. And when it comes back, it's going to come back hard. It always does. I mean, you could see it in this last election. I am all over the map today. I really am. At any rate, the violence we're witnessing, if we aren't careful, this can go down a much broader, violent road than any of us want. I still believe that the Democrats are creating monsters in our school. From kindergarten right out of college, they have taken over the school, the whole system, and they're creating monsters. Entitled monsters. And that's a dangerous combination. A very dangerous combination. You are not entitled to to property you don't own. You are not entitled to tell me how to look at the world. You are not entitled to train children in your philosophy, your economics, and your political beliefs. You're entitled to all of these that you have and you've earned and you've decided upon, but you can't tell me, you shouldn't be able to tell me that I have to call someone a G or whatever the most ridiculous word is now. My choice, my belief system. And if my employer doesn't like it, my employer can let me go. His choice, her choice, their belief system. I think we've forgotten what freedom is. Freedom is not your right to live in a world where you are not accosted, verbally insulted, having to hear words you don't like. That is freedom. Those things are part of freedom. You have to be able to allow those things. And if you don't like those things, then you extricate yourself from that situation and you move away from it. And if you think that these are bad for your children, same thing. Get your kids out of there. Explain to them that this is wrong. This is not how I see things. But you don't get to tell people you can't talk like that. You don't get to tell people that you must address me as Miss or Mr. or G or whatever the word is. You're not entitled to that. That's not your right. Your right is to call you yourself whatever you want and ask people to call you that. But if I don't want to call you G, I'm not going to. That's freedom. It comes with a cost. And sometimes the cost is you having to hear something you don't want to hear. Like this message that's been going on way too long. When you feel like picking up a gun and you want to go take care of business, please don't. Think about it. That person that you disagree with, that person that's trying to establish a policy that you don't like, they've got a family. They are contributing to our nation. Whether we like what they're contributing or not, they're still contributors. Change things at the ballot box. Stop calling people Nazis. Stop calling people tyrants, totalitarians. If you think someone is one of these things, then you need to use the court system or the ballot box to change things. The question has always been, if you could go back in time and kill Hitler, would you? Well, when you're calling all of these political leaders and all of these people who are doing debates like Charlie Kirk, when you're calling these people Hitlers, how do you think the ambitious youth of our nation is going to react? That's absolutely a ludicrous thing to do. First you create monsters, and then you give them a target. Stop it. Please stop it. Monday, time to go to work. Nose to the grindstone. I'm smiling because I have a good job, and I like my job, and I like my work. And I like the people. You know, really when you say that, what you're really saying is you like the people. And that's what I mean. I like the people I work with. I like the people I work for. And I like my customers. For the most part, they're all decent people. Even the people that don't like me. I can think of one in particular. He really dislikes me a lot. I have no idea why. And at this point, I really don't care. That doesn't mean I don't pray for the man. That doesn't mean I don't hope that he has a good life. I disagree with him. I don't want him dead. I can't change him at the ballot box. I can avoid him. And that's what I'll do. That's what freedom is. The freedom of association. I don't have to associate with him. So I'm not. That doesn't mean that I can't stop him from talking about me. That doesn't mean that I can't stop him from telling people that he thinks I'm a ridiculous idiot. Maybe he's right. Maybe I am a ridiculous idiot. I mean, look at me. I get up every morning and I do these foolish podcasts and just ramble on about absolutely everything and nothing. Monday morning, Let's go out there and take on the week and kick it square in the teeth. Make it our week. Make it something we love. That's what I'm going to try. That's what I'm going to do. We all make our own contributions to this world and to our country and to our state and county and cities. Let's make the contributions worth something. Let's make it worthwhile. Let's make it something we can look back on and say, I did that. I'm glad I got a chance to do it, and I did the best I could. Even if I didn't rise to other people's expectation, I did the best I could. Will I be famous? Nope. Will the people around me like me? I hope so. But I do hope you have a great Monday. We're very blessed in this country. We need to keep our heads about us and find peaceful solutions. And teach peaceful solutions. Teach that. You're a teacher. Are you teaching hate? Are you teaching love? Are you teaching a doctrine? Or are you teaching how to think for yourself? Monday, I'm going to stop this rambling. I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to drink the rest of my coffee, and then I'm going to go to work. I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope that you go out there and have a great Monday. I hope you find peace, love, and dream. Until next time, Lahitraut. It's Monday. I had a lazy weekend. I'm just going to admit it outright. I didn't do anything this weekend. We went shopping. I think that was a grocery shopping. I think I bought a pair of pants too. Costco's a dangerous place. I went in there expecting to spend about $200. I walked out of there with a $400 bill. Well, I left without $400 bills that I had. But, yeah, it was a lazy weekend. I'll probably cut all this out. Nobody wants to hear about my weekend. I'm not sure I want to hear about my weekend in retrospect. All I did was sit around and goof off.